What's up, all day fam? All right, so I guess this message is specifically to the Chargers fans. So yeah, you guys already know Rashawn Slater went down yesterday. Serious knee injury, patellar tendon. He's out for the rest of the season, 6 to 12 months, and more than likely, everybody is saying that this injury is a type of injury that a player cannot really come back. I mean, I'm not going to say cannot, but they're more than likely it can affect their career, just to put it to it like that. That sometimes they cannot come back to, they don't come back to form how they used to be in their prime. So hopefully he does, though. I believe he can. I mean, Rashawn Slater is a monster. He's a beast. He does get injured too much for my liking. That torn biceps, that was one thing, and then he came back, he got some more injuries, and so, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't too surprised when he got injured. I was wondering, I knew that there was going to be a major, in the back of my mind, I was thinking that there was going to be an injury on the Chargers, some form, somewhere down the line. I just knew there was going to be an injury happen, and I was hoping it wasn't going to happen in the Brazil game, because I was thinking that the Chargers probably, there's something's going to happen to, maybe something is going to happen to somebody in the Brazil game, because that stupid field that the NFL has our players playing on. I hate that. I hate that they have the NFL players playing internationally on terrible conditioning fields. The NFL is making all this money. You should not have players playing on garbage fields, but that's whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Roger Goodell by any means. I understand that he's pushing for the NFL to make more money and for the fan base to grow. I love that, but I don't like his way of going about it. And I don't think that Roger Goodell puts the players at his best interest when he's making these decisions. And that's who makes the game, is the players. I mean, the fans makes the games as well, but there wouldn't be any fans if there wouldn't be any players. There wouldn't be any players if there wouldn't be any fans. So, I mean, come on. I mean, but keep the players' health at your main focus. You know, so yeah, I hate injuries. Injuries is a part of the game. Injuries is that they're inevitable. They're going to happen in football, just like in life. Pain is going to happen. It's inevitable, but the thing about the fact of the matter is that some injuries can be avoided. So just because a player gets injured doesn't mean that, it's just part of the game. No, it could have been avoided. I'm not saying that this Rashawn Slater injury could have been avoided, but I think Rashawn Slater is injury prone. I honestly think that. I mean, he's a monster. He's a great player. He's if he can return back to his natural form, he will be a Hall of Famer. But he hasn't done it long enough for him to be a Hall of Famer. But hopefully he can come back next year and just pick right back off where he left off, and hopefully these injuries can be in his past, because this is the second time that he's been out for an entire season. So that's that. But I do want to say this, though. This doesn't change anything. It doesn't. The Chargers can still go to the playoffs. The Chargers can still go to the Super Bowl. The Chargers can still win the Super Bowl. We have Jim Harbaugh. We have Justin Herbert. I mentioned on Reddit, some people were trying to argue with me because I said that, listen, the Chargers, they still got it. So I was like, everybody needs to calm down. We still have Justin Herbert as our quarterback, and then we still have Jim Harbaugh as our head coach. And then I mentioned that Justin Herbert has elite wide receivers and he has an elite running back. We'll be fine. And so one person was saying, what elite wide receivers are you talking about? The Chargers does not have any elite wide receivers. McConkey is not an elite wide receiver, and Keenan Allen is towards the end of his career. And then he says, and an elite running back, Omarion Hampton, hasn't even stepped on the field. So my response to that is, do you watch any tape? That's the only question. Do you watch any tape? For you to say Keenan Allen It's not an elite wide receiver because he's towards the end of his career is completely stupid. When has Keenan Allen shown that he has lost a step at all? He played his best season of his career the year prior to him going to Chicago, which was 2 years ago. He had his best season of his career. Why does his age have anything to do with anything? He's still producing at a high. He produced at his highest level of his entire career at that age. So, and he goes to Chicago and he still doesn't lose a step. And he didn't even have the primary role. He nearly had 1,000 yards to the rookie quarterback in an elite wide receiver, and then another rookie wide receiver. So he wasn't even the main He wasn't the main target for Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams was still trying to figure it out. That offense was chaotic. But Keenan Allen still managed to grab. I think he managed to grab 70 receptions and 900 or something yards and 7 touchdowns, I think. I can't remember at the top of my head, but he almost had 1,000 yards in Chicago with Caleb Williams. So what are you talking about? When has he shown that he lost a step and where? Like, it was such a generic response. It was just really stupid. It's like, it doesn't matter. He's 33. Like, people are like, they don't think outside the box. Y'all automatically just think, oh, a player is 30 years old, so he's towards the end of his career. He's not going to be good anymore. No, if he's still producing on the field, he's still good. He's not going to be good anymore if he's not producing anymore. Like, open your eyes. I don't know. People who just goes strictly just based on numbers are very delusional. I said that before my last video. So, it's stupid. And McConkey, how is McConkey not an elite wide receiver? The only receiver that I think that's probably can be even matched with McConkey's separation and route running is Keenan Allen. And now they're both on the same team. If you go back and you watch the tape, I don't think there's any wide receiver who can separate, who has an elite separation as great as Lad. And he's only getting better. You can hear Greg Roman and his other coaches talking about how he's actually advancing, excelling even more. So how the hell is that not elite? It just sounds really stupid. It's stupid, plain and simple. So talk what you're saying. Know what you're talking about. In Omarion Hampton, how is Omarion Hampton not an elite running back? Everybody was raving about Ashton Jeanty being elite. Everybody was already saying that he's going to be elite when he gets into the league. And I think that, so hold on, before I even say that, so are we okay with saying Ashton Jeanty is an elite running back? Because everybody was saying that. Everybody was already thinking that he probably could be a top 10, top 5 running back. Same for Bijan Robinson. Everybody was saying that when he was first getting, before he even had a snap, that he was going to be elite. So what are we talking about here? I mean, and I believe Omarion Hampton is better than both of those running backs, especially Ashton Jeanty. I've watched tape on Omarion, and he looks better to me than Ashton. And Omarion looked good in the preseason. I think he had like 2 snaps. He looks good. Outside of his last snap that he did when he could have just turned upfield and he didn't, but he decided to run to the sideline. That's whatever. But all the other handoffs, he looked great. He was busting through the hole extremely fast at an elite level. I think he's going to be an awesome running back. I think he's going to be amongst the best running backs in the entire NFL. I really do, Omarion Hampton. So he's in the perfect situation with Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman. So, and Jim Harbaugh is going to keep beefing up that deep offensive line. Rashawn Slater is gone, but hey, it is fine. We are going to be okay. The Chargers fan base, Chargers is going to be okay. I have been saying for years that Justin Herbert is underrated, is disrespected, and I say that he's better than, I always been saying that he's better than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow led the Bengals to the Super Bowl on a terrible offensive line. He did that. And so I mentioned that he did that because he had elite wide receivers, and he doesn't have to hold the ball as long waiting for his receivers to get open downfield, because his receivers, they stay open. So you don't have to have, I mean, you have to have a good offensive line to at least hold up, but you don't have to have an offensive line as elite or as great when you have elite wide receivers. And so that's the point I'm making. They have 2 elite route running wide receivers who was the best in the game at route running and separation. The offensive line doesn't have to be that great. And then they have really great running backs, really, really good running backs. Omarion Hampton, to me, is elite. They have another Najee. He heals up. He's going to be right. He's really good. And then we got Rocket Sanders. I think Rocket Sanders is going to be a beast also. And then we got Kamani. Kamani is looking really good in the preseason. I think he's advancing. He's excelling from what from last year. So we got a good running game, and that's how you stop a pass rush. That's how you protect your quarterback as well. We have really good tight ends. It's going to be okay. All you got to do is just call the right play calling, and then, to protect your quarterback from getting hammered, and it's good. And Justin Herbert, he's a brilliant, he's an intelligent quarterback. He's going to understand the protection calls. He's going to understand that how to get the ball out faster, and he's not going to have a problem with that, because his receivers are going to be open. They're going to find space. So he's not going to have to hold the ball as long, even when he's not even supposed to be holding the ball as long anyway. That's never been a problem with Justin Herbert. So that's the point I'm making. And you will see that you'll see that in week 1. You'll see that in week 1. Keenan Allen and Ladd, they're uncoverable. They're uncoverable. That ball is going to be out. You'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, you got to know football and understand. So it's that guy was arguing. He was just dumb. He was dumb. He didn't know what he was talking about. If you're an elite route runner, if you're elite at separation, or you're a wide receiver, and you're the best in the game at it, you're elite, bro. Like, what are you talking about? So it's whatever. But anyway, I made this video because I just wanted the Chargers fans to not worry so much about what's going on with Rashawn. Yes, it hurts, but next man up mentality. And I think we got this one guy, this left tackle. I can't remember his name. We got him from the USFL. I think he was like the best left tackle. I mean, I'm curious to see what he's going to do. Everybody's saying that we should switch Joe Walt to left tackle. No, we should not. We should keep Joe Walt and Mekhi Becton right where they are and right next to each other. I mean, if Slayer or Pipkins is it, then whatever. But I want to see what that guy from the USFL can do. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. All right. Mark my words. All right. We'll be back soon all day.